Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, and thank you for joining. Now, we've had an action-packed Saturday and Sunday. I didn't do a press conference last night because there's only 3 games, and I was feeling tired. I said, I'll do it all in one hit. So we have a press conference for Saturday and Sunday now. Just calm it down. Okay, let's get on with the games. We go over to the Hawthorn and Brisbane Lions game. And in this game, it could be disaster for us. We had Sicily. He scored 136. That's the good news. The bad news is he could be out for 3 weeks. This is a shock. Now, I traded in Sicily really cheap. I got him cheap. I traded out Anderson at the time. Now, Anderson at the time was 630k. Sicily was around about 520k or 530k. I made like 80k, I think, maybe even 550k Sicily was. I made like 80k. I thought it was a good deal because Sicily went up. He's at about 640k now. He went up 90k. Anderson dropped to 550k. They just switched, virtually they switched spots. I can actually do the trade back and get and go from Sicily back to Anderson now if I want to. But I don't want to do that. Just come down. I want to keep Sicily. So we'll see what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen now. This is a disaster. Now, Will Day, we traded him out, the spud. We traded the spud out, and what did he do? He scores a 109. Can you believe this? Okay, yeah, scored 109. I couldn't watch him anymore. Then he decides he didn't score past 80 for me once in 5 weeks. Not once. And he goes and does it the week I sack him. I can't believe this anyway. He scored a 109. Now, is anyone else at Hawthorn of interest? Well, we sacked Mitchell as well because we needed the cash to bring in someone else. And Mitchell scored 74. I mean, that wouldn't have made my team is doing good this week. That wouldn't have even made the cut. Just coming down. Anyway, so we traded out Mitchell. Now, the other player of interest here is Weedle. Scored 68, so most people wouldn't even get his score, but they've all cashed out now. Time to trade them all off. Is anyone else that made some cash here or any of interest? Not really. Just the Sicily news is so bad. The tackle looked legit at the time. He happened to spin him over. Hopefully he gets off. I can't see it happening. Now, over to the Lions. Now, I had Josh Dunkley as vice-captain. Just coming down. Only because of the videos that we put up. These captain, vice-captain videos that I do. I decided to go with the flow. I put him as vice-captain because I didn't have English. And it worked wonders. 148. What a star. What a legend. Legend of the club. Next year, if he's mid-only, I'll probably just get him anyway. And mid-only, I'll still pick him. He's that good. Along with Taranto. If Taranto's mid-only, I'll probably just get him. Anyway, Lockie Neal, he was terrible in the first quarter. Then he went on to do what Lockie Neal, what he does, 102. We brought him in. The play we brought in Lockie Neal, 102, and the play we tried out Will Day, 109. I actually lost 7 points, but it doesn't matter. We've got Neal to play next week. Day's not playing next week, so that's why we did Neal. Now, is there anyone else of interest here? Well, there is Ashcroft, scored 79. Now, I would have kept Ashcroft if I knew, but then again, it was 79, not really that big, but it was big enough. He didn't actually get, he wouldn't have got his break-even of 109, but he got his break-even of 69. Now, I've got one player less for round 14 and round 15. I'm in trouble. We now move over to Adelaide and West Coast. Now, Taylor Walker scored a 208. That's nuts. Just coming down. Who scores 208 these days? And no one owns him. That's the worst part. No one benefited. Just Taylor Walker did. He probably got himself in Supercoach. He went nuts. 208. Now, Rory Laird, if you captain... Well, actually, I captained him, but I didn't because I had vice-captain on Dunkley. If he failed, I was going Laird. Laird went 156. What a champion. And he was so cheap. I got him 100k cheaper than normal. So if you picked him up at a discounted price and then put him as captain, you're laughing this week. Now... Going down the order, Ben Keys, 115. That's nuts. Okay, that's absolutely nuts. Now, if you picked him up, you'll be laughing. Now, I didn't. However, because he's so cheap, and I've got a 640k player not playing for 4 weeks in Sicily. I might actually trade Sicily out and just get all these cheapos and have a couple of spares on my bench. I'm actually thinking about it. So that's an option. But anyway, Keys went nuts. Now, Dawson, a lot of people captained him, and normally, because against West Coast, you'd think he'd go nuts. You'd think that anyway. He didn't. Only 95. My mate just got him in as well, so upset. So yeah, I can imagine whoever captained him is not happy. I mean, 65% disposal efficiency. He's normally about 80. He forgot how to kick the ball. Now, is anyone else here? Oh, well, not really. If you got Chase Jones still, I mean, you probably traded him out by now. But if you got him, he scored you a 70. And that's about it at Adelaide. The big ones here was Keys. Huge if you got him in. Anyway, he probably got up 40k, 50k in price as well. Well, talking about discounted players, Elliot Yeo was the other. Scored a 113. Just as good as Keys. He's actually cheaper. He went nuts as well. It's nuts. Anyway, he was 325. He'd probably go 375. Still cheap. There are so many cheap players now. You just have to get them all. Now, actually, that's about it at West Coast. There's nobody else. Tim Kelly scored 81 if you got him. I don't think there's anyone else. Actually, there is one more. Where is he? Sheed scored 47. Had 40 touches last week. This week, he forgot how to touch the ball. He had a lot of mates, though. It wasn't his fault. He wasn't alone. And Marich scored 49. Kakasito, bro, Marich. Okay, just coming down. Now, he scored a 49. That's not bad on debut. 102k player. Kicked the 2 goals. No opportunity up forward. But anyway, let's get over to the next game. We go over to Freo versus Richmond, the Mighty Tigers. Okay, they got a new coach. They're beginning to learn how to play again. I can't work it out. Under Hardwick, they were playing good, but not really. They looked sloppy and looked terrible. All of a sudden, they began to know how to play footy again. Maybe they didn't like Hardwick. I don't know what the story is. I can't work it out. They all went nuts. Shy Bolton has gone to another level. 16 disposals in the last quarter. He's become the next Dusty. Okay. Now anyway, let's go to Freo first. Now at Freo, Luke Jackson 119. I mean, we expect this from Luke Jackson as a solo ruck, but this scoring will stop once he drops. Once what's his name? Shrek comes back. He'll go back to the forward line. Now, another cheapo here, Nat 5, 96. These cheapos went nuts. Now, Sarong and Brayshaw, I'll put up a tweet. I'll show you. I'll put up a poll. I said, because I didn't know who to get. Do I get Sarong or Brayshaw? I was so undecided. It was virtually to the last second. I couldn't decide. I said, thanks to everyone that participated in the poll. It looks like the answer was same but different. But both scored near identical. I had 972 votes, and most said go on Brayshaw. 60% was on Brayshaw. So I followed the crowd. I went Brayshaw, but it was the same thing. Brayshaw or Sarong, no difference. Luke Ryan, his form has dropped so bad. 16 kicks, no handballs, and 93%. That's not bad. All right, now 16 times 4. I mean, you're not counting the intercept marks. Where's the marks? 9 marks. A couple of those will be intercept. Only 83 points. Well, 16 times 4 is 64. So it makes sense. It's only 83 points, but he's barely just getting scores of 80s. I was actually thinking about getting him in before I chose to get him Brayshaw. Lucky I didn't. I don't know what's happened to him. Now, there's no one else here of interest. Actually, there's one more. I forgot him. Johnson, 96, 200k player. That's nuts. Problem is, Jago Mira comes back, so he may lose that role now. He may go back on wherever he plays now on the wings or forward line now, or the spare mid. He won't get that full-time mid no more. I mean, why would they give it to Johnson when they got O'Meara? I mean, they're high recruits. So Johnson probably loses it, but what a shame. Is it Jets? Now, let's move over to Richmond, which we already discussed. Shy Bolton. Tim Taranto, 136. 2 goals again. And he's not even in the top 150 midfielders or players, according to some experts. Just calm it down. Okay, he's a Jet. 136, 7 tackles, 71% disposal efficiency. It's not like he's butchering the ball. It was wet conditions as well. 71% wasn't that bad. They just bully him. People just say, oh, he's no good. 60% they say, oh, he's no good. Well, he does go a 70 as well sometimes. 136, so consistent. And next year, he's almost a must-have in the midfield. If he started midfield this year, no one would have picked him. We would have all missed out. Starting as a forward was a bonus for us and at a cheap price. Anyway, that's pretty much it. There's nobody else. The main two are Shy Bolton. If you've jumped on, you've done. What was his price? Let's have a look. Now, we're at Shy Bolton. His break was 132, so he must have had a low score in between here. He's up and down like a yo-yo. I mean, he scored a 77. Around here, after the Gold Coast game, 423k. The thing to note was following week it was West Coast. Maybe you've got to pick players before they play West Coast. If this was fantasy, whoever plays West Coast, I'll just pick him. That's when he rose in price and he went nuts afterwards, from 420 all the way up to 564, and massive scores. A couple of low scores. He's a type of player you can't have. Okay, he's gonna so frustrating to own. Like scores a 77. That's when you get upset. Like a Taranto doesn't do this kind of stuff. If you go to Taranto, let's go to Taranto. See, Taranto, he's just consistent, okay? Have a look at his scores. That's a bad score, 111. That's a bad one, okay, for him. 147, 118, 90, 118, 140, 144. He's just consistent. 2 scores in the 90s and the rest all hundreds and some big ones. He's a Jet. Okay, let's continue. We now go to the North Melbourne versus the West GWS game. Now, again, we have players, cheapos. Terran Thomas, 112. He's a 295k player, 112. Last week he scored at 89. The problem with 112 is he kicked 3 goals, okay? And they've got some players to come back into that midfield. They've got 3 of them coming back. Okay, so we don't know if he's going to have that midfield role again. So he's a bit more of a question mark. And plus he kicked 3 goals to get that score. So he's not going to always kick 3 goals. So that's a big question mark if you want to get him or not. I'm probably going to pass. Now, Zeeble went at 107, 30 touches, okay? Had a lot of kick-ins this week. He did good for the people that owned him, but his break-even was about 170, 180, so he's lost a bit of cash. Now, 172 I think it was. So he lost about 30k. I'm happy I got rid of him, okay? I'll be honest, I'm happy. Because his previous scores, 59, 70-odd, 80-odd, it's not enough, okay? I'd rather take the 150k cash and go to Himmelberg later on. Okay, that's my plan. Now, Chisels, I kept him, 98, okay? I might still keep him. We'll see how we go. Chisels, I'm attached to him. I can't get rid of him. I'm sort of attached. We have a bond. Okay, just come down. He's a cute little kid. Okay, so I kept him. Now, Wardlaw, 94. What a Jet. Okay, I wish I got him, but I can't get him now. It's too expensive. 94. It was only like about 70 at half time, so it sort of stopped in the second half. But in the first half, he was going nuts. He was on track for about 140, 130. Now, speaking about Jets, Eddie Ford, 84. He's going to make more cash. He's making another 50k this week. Everyone just coming down. Actually, no, 45k. So, it's good news. And he's got another game to go before we can get rid of him. So, he's got more cash coming. Probably another 30k next week. Very happy. Actually, how much is he worth? Let's have a look. Well, he's made about 45k this week. Minus 17 break even. He's worth about 240k now. That's so good. And by the time we get rid of him, another game he's going to play, he'll be about 270k. That's short term. That's unbelievable. He's made 150. He would have made 150k for us in a space of 3 weeks. Speaking of making 150k in 3 weeks, check this out. Where is he? Briggs. Scored a 114. He's made 150k in 2 weeks. Unbelievable. Now, Briggs is a gun. I'm going to keep him. No one has scored more than 108 points against Goldie. No one. No ruckman this year. 13 rounds. Only one ruckman went above 100s this year against Goldie. Briggs did 114. He smashed Goldie. He was so good. 20 hit-outs. There wasn't many ball-ups or hit-ins. 14 went to Lockie O'Keefe. We'll get to GWS in a minute. Let's get back to North Melbourne. It's coming down. Back to North Melbourne. Will Phillips, 79. Clarko killed him. Okay, made him a sub. Hardly played. Dropped him every second. He's a gun. How does he not get a game? Anyway, he's playing now. He's playing well. Unfortunately for him, though, he may lose that role now because they got a lot. Like I said, 3 midfielders come back in, so he may lose that role. But he looked so good. Okay, well that's it for North Melbourne. Let's get back to the good stuff now. GWS. Now, Himmelberg scored 88, 22 touches, 86% disposal efficiency. Played defence. While he was playing defence, Lockie Keefe went to the forward line. Himmelberg is set to defence all year. He hasn't got much in price. He's gone up about 5k in price, so it's no big damage. The damage is going to be next week. Maybe he's going to go up maybe 15 to 20k if you don't get him next week. I'm highly considering getting him next week. We'll see how we go. Now, the 88 doesn't sound like much, but if you can look at it this way, how many defenders scored well? Lockie Ash scored 94, Himmelberg 88. Let's keep going down. All the defenders: Whitfield 67, Haynes 62. Let's keep going down. Iden 62, and where is he? Buckley 29. The defenders didn't score because the ball didn't get there. How can he score points? Yet he still scored 88. It's incredible. So he's on my list. I'm going to get him. Can't wait to get him. He's a joy to watch. Anyway, let's move over to the next game. Yeah, this game just finished. Carlton, Essendon. And let's go to Carlton. Okay. Sam Walsh, 93. That's not bad considering how bad he was going at halftime. So he picked up 35 touches at 80%. 35 touches at 80%. Only got 93. Why? Contested possessions. Where is it? 8. Only 5 clangers. That's good for him. It's not. It doesn't sound. If his name was Humpty, he would have got about 150. Humpty easily would have got 150 of this. Okay, he only got 93. Now, Kennedy, 83. That's for what you paid for him, and considering all the options out there right now, Kennedy's not doing well. Okay. Now Carlton lost again. It's not good for the coach. See how I know a lot of Carlton supporters don't like their coach. Okay, I'm not going to comment on that. I just know a lot of Carlton. I hear it everywhere. It's all over SEN. I got it easy, just coming down. I can hear things. Now Sard, he's dropped form. 81. He's not the same Sard since his hammy. He's a different player. 81. It's not good enough. Doherty, 77. At 70%, 4 clangers. Something wrong, Carlton. Keep going down. Patrick Cripps, 58. Now, look at what this says, okay? We need a little symbol here, if you can see it. It says carrying something, and it's not Carlton. That's how comical they make jokes out of him. Now, 58. That's a primo, okay? If you've got him, what do you do with him? You probably don't have trades to get rid of him. You're stuck with him. It's just disaster. And he has around 15 buy. Okay, maybe you can consider get one of the cheapos. You're probably the same price as the cheapos. And Curnow. Okay, I hate it when Curnow comes in the team. It means he's going to tag one of our players, and he did. He tagged Merritt. Thank God Merritt scored 105. He went to the forward line and he went nuts in the third quarter. Scored more points in the third quarter than the rest of the game. And Ridley, just a jet, 108. He would have scored more, but Carlton didn't attack enough in the third quarter, so his points dried up. He was on like 70 at half time. He was looking for a big score. Only stopped at 108. Very happy. Paid it $420K for him. He was so cheap. The red man, he did well. 101. He was very quiet at half time. Then he picked up, and then Ridley stopped. So sort of they tag teamed. Is there anyone else here? Well, Stringer sort of got the tag later on. It was originally on Merritt, but then Merritt went forward. Then Stringer copped it. And that's pretty much it for Essendon. There's no one else of interest, unless you got Hobbs, scored a 105. I got him in my draft team, picked him up. But my draft team's on holidays at the moment. Bye rounds, we don't have draft playing. Well, we have 2 players to play, and we're projected to score 22-40. Okay, so I'm happy with that. If I can have 22-40, I'll be laughing. Looking around the grounds, there's not many projections around about 2,200. Most of the projections this week are about 2,100, 2,150. So if you've gone over 2,200, you should go up the rankings. Now, my team, we've got, who's left to play? We've got Dacos, but he needs a 130 for me to get that 22-40. And we got Gawn, he's a 95. Now, I had Briggs on the bench. I couldn't put him on field. I'm stuck with him. And I had Ford on the bench, but his score probably wouldn't have counted. So 95 from Gawn. Let's hope we can get that. Let's hope we can get a 150 so we can climb up. We'll get a 2,300 if he gets a 150. I can't see that happening, but you never know. My Christmas might come early, just coming down. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for joining. And remember one thing. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Ciao for now.
That's all, folks.